morning and welcome to Robin Learns Chinese while busy, where I'm going to be talking about and documenting my journey learning Mandarin Chinese. I'm excited to bring you guys along on the journey. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, as always, and I said I want to get ready and go to the coffee shop, and I thought, why not just start this series off right at the start of the day. So, are you ready? Let's do it. Alright, so here we are outside. This is Valencia Street, which I showed you in my last video. It's one of my favorite streets in the city. And it's right now about 5:52 in the morning. So I've got just enough time to head over that way to Market Street, which is where my favorite coffee shop is, which is called Verve. I love the people there. The baristas are just splendid, lovely people that I really enjoy seeing every day, and so that's where I'm going to go and start with my Chinese studies. So basically I go there every day. Basically I always start with Chinese. In my book and in all of my videos I always talk about how anchoring your studies to a sort of event of the day as opposed to a time of the day, I think is far more effective. So I know that I will always go to the coffee shop and sit down at 6 o'clock, but maybe it's 6:20, maybe it's 6:45 one day if I'm really late. But the point is that I don't anchor my Chinese study to 6 o'clock or 5 p.m. I anchor my Chinese study to when I sit down to start my day. Just as I have other activities that I anchor to. This is what I do on my lunch break, right? I don't take my lunch break at the same time every day, but I do always take a lunch break. And so this is a really good illustration of that philosophy that I have. So let's continue on the journey to Verve. It's a little bit dark, and I'm really excited to start my Chinese study today. That was a really successful morning session. I did a bunch of Chinese. I went through one of my UX design courses I'm kind of reviewing. I read some articles online, and then I got about 1 hour of work on the social journaling application, which is really coming along. So yeah, excellent. And now I'm gonna go down there and get on a very, very busy train. But the good thing is I always have enough room to do flashcards on my phone, so I'm going to be working on my consolidation of my Chinese, which I talked about in my last video, all about consolidation and how important it is. So one of the great things about making this little flashcard deck on my phone is that now I can take advantage of that dead time. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I love dead time. So now I can take advantage of that 15-minute train ride, and I can review the Chinese stuff that I've been learning. So, and the train just left, which means I've got like 5 minutes additional dead time. So here we go. Hey guys, so here we are. I'm actually in my office right now. I just finished lunch, and so I booked a few minutes here in one of the meeting rooms that we have. So today I just wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how my Chinese study has been so far. I really like documenting my journey when learning a new language. I did a series called Korean from Scratch, where I wanted to document learning Korean totally from scratch all the way up to being a fluent speaker. Unfortunately, you know, I filmed that series during an absolutely crazy, tumultuous time in my life where I was living in Montreal, Canada when I first started it, and then really bad things happened in my life, and then I ended up in Helsinki, Finland, and I still tried to continue, but then I ended up living back in the UK after some really bad stuff happened, and then I moved to Italy and then Barcelona. It was just so difficult to keep it going. You know, those are the kind of life changes that most people either never experienced in their life, or maybe once, or maybe twice. I experienced that level of fracturing change over and over and over. And so unfortunately, creating from scratch, I filmed quite a few episodes. I really enjoyed it. I got some wonderful feedback, but I couldn't really finish it. So when I came to San Francisco, I decided to learn Mandarin Chinese because I noticed that there was a huge Chinese population here, even though a lot of them are Cantonese speaking, especially sort of the historical migrants that came here. But nevertheless, there's still an enormous amount of Mandarin Chinese speakers here in the city, especially the younger population, and especially the population that sort of exists here in the tech space. There are Mandarin speakers everywhere. And I found that in my daily life, I have many colleagues who speak Mandarin who I can practice with. Even the cleaner at my company, like a lot of people who do speak Cantonese also speak Mandarin. So for example, there's a Chinese restaurant that I go to next to my apartment, and they are Cantonese speakers, but they also speak Mandarin. So it was really exciting to me, the fact that I had so much opportunity everywhere I went to practice that language. And it's a language that I've been curious about for quite some time now, because there are many reasons. I love Chinese characters. That's one of my favorite things about learning Japanese. And I actually learned not just the 2000 daily use Chinese characters in Japanese, but I also went above and beyond, and I probably learned over 3,000 characters at one point. And I was trying to take what we call the kanji kente, which is like a kanji exam for Japanese people. I love characters. Now my knowledge of Chinese characters today is certainly rusty. I have kept up with it the best I can, but since I have not been reading Japanese novels, and Japanese has been one of the languages I've been least involved with just over the years compared to French or Spanish or Italian. And then also I love pronunciation. A lot of you who have watched my content for a long time now will know that it's something I really enjoy. I typically do develop highly accurate pronunciation and rhythm and intonation in a foreign language. And so naturally, the challenge of the tones in Mandarin Chinese, a lot of stuff was really interesting. And I always knew one day I would learn it. And that day came when I came to San Francisco. So I just want to quickly share with you some things I've done so far. I talked a little bit about this in my very short series about how to learn a new language while busy. And that is the central theme of this series. That's why it's called Robin Learns Chinese While Busy, because I'm trying to use my current life situation, which is that I am extremely busy. I have a full-time job as a software engineer here in San Francisco. I spend about 5 to 6 hours per day working on a massive project that I've been working on for almost a year now, where I'm building a sort of what's actually now transforming into a blogging platform for foreign language learners, where you can sort of write blogs and articles, have a personal blog, but that you write in a foreign language, and then you collect feedback and responses from native or advanced speakers. I'm not going to make this video all about that, but that's something I've been working on for a very long time. I also still make YouTube videos. I mean, I do tons of stuff, and I'm learning Mandarin Chinese on the side. So I think it's a great opportunity for me to make a series of videos that is really relatable to a huge amount of people in the world who would love to learn a second language or a third, whatever, but who don't have the time to devote several hours per day, like some sort of language fanatics or people who are really passionate about languages. They have the time, or they're willing to make the time to devote hours and hours every day. So what I've been doing so far is, this is my little tablet here. It's like a little paper tablet, similar to a Kindle. And here I have my notes that I've been making on these courses. So you can see here, sort of, lesson 1, greetings, how to say goodbye, asking questions politely, You'll notice that I am always writing the Chinese characters along with the pinyin. And basically it's a website called Chinese Pod. There are many great resources for Mandarin Chinese. That's just one that I picked because I liked the interface. I thought it was well organized, and I found a series called All the Way to Intermediate with 30 lessons, all sequential. And so I went through the first 15 lessons. So like I said, I just showed you kind of what that looks like. Again here, lesson 5 and 6. And then what happened is I completed the first phase, which was lesson 1 to 15. And then I decided I would deploy phase 2, which for me is a phase of consolidation. So after that, I created a flashcard deck on my phone using Anki, which is one of several options for making flashcard decks with SRS, space-time repetition systems. And basically I just put all those words and phrases you see, all those words, all those, especially the phrases in particular, like this, 天气很好, for example, or 她很漂亮, she is pretty, right? So I put all those into the flashcard deck. So what I started doing is I spent about 1 week to 10 days, maybe 2 weeks in total, just consolidating. Now here's a really important thing that I always tell people when I'm teaching Japanese, and I tell people about the way I learn Japanese so effectively, but it's something that most people refuse to do. I handwrite a lot. So if we look at this notebook here, you will see like page after page, after page, after page, just pages and pages of Chinese characters that I hand wrote. You'll see here. So, again, there's just so many pages. I basically, when I go through my flashcard deck and I practice the vocabulary, I write it down over and over and over again. And so it's been so useful doing that consolidation phase. And so what I did is during those 2 weeks, I pretty much focused only on consolidating, and I got to the point where I felt really confident saying, writing, and reading pretty much every single phrase in the first 15 lessons. Excuse me. And then I started adding on new lessons. And so that's kind of what I've been doing. And now I got to the point where I'm up to lesson 24, and I have also consolidated up to lesson 20. So basically that's my new strategy, is sort of just progressing upwards to lesson 30. And so that's where I am now. But in this video series, I will do plenty of demonstration. I will show you how good my Chinese is right now. You'll get to see it progressing. I'm gonna make videos showing really in depth how I study, my first time trying to have a conversation, my first time trying to order food, going to the market. Like, I'm gonna really try to make this series fun to watch, and I'm really gonna try to share everything I can about this amazing journey of learning a new language. For those of you who don't know, I already speak 8 languages. The point being, I've done this quite a few times, and every time it's just such a beautiful journey. And I've always loved the idea of sharing that and bringing all of you along with me. And God, I'm having so much fun learning Mandarin Chinese.
My darling, I love you, 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 I love you.